What's up everybody, Max here. On today's Fix of Gaming News, Microsoft confirms a big, huge Xbox Summer Showcase is just around the corner, plus a deeper dive on the Outer Worlds 2. Meanwhile, Hades 2 is a timed console exclusive to both generations of Nintendo Switch, and the Switch 2 GameCube controller is console exclusive to GameCube Classics? Let's get into it. E3 may no longer be with us, but the beginning of June is still the peak season for big video game events, and Microsoft has confirmed that there will be yet another Xbox game showcase taking place this year. This morning, Microsoft announced the showcase will be streamed live Sunday, June 8th, starting at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, or 6 p.m. UK time. As has been the case in previous years, the showcase will immediately be followed by a direct focused on one upcoming game, and this year, it's the Outer Worlds 2. As for what else we can expect to see, Xbox Game Studios has a bunch of announced projects on the horizon. Playground Games recently pushed Fable into 2026, but it still might make an appearance. There's also the Perfect Dark reboot, In Exile's Clockwork Revolution, the recently announced Ninja Gaiden 4, Contraband, the co-op project from Just Cause developer Avalanche, Rare's long-in-development fantasy game Everwild, the Coalition's Gears of War prequel E-Day, Hideo Kojima's OD, and Undead Labs' State of Decay 3, just to name a few projects. And of course, there's also whatever Bethesda and Activision Blizzard have in the works, which could include Elder Scrolls 6, a new Call of Duty, or more updates to Overwatch and Diablo. And there's also the distinct possibility that Xbox might announce some new hardware, like that handheld we've heard rumblings about. If you'd like to watch this showcase with a whole lot of people who are as excited about new video games as you are, I would be remiss not to mention IGN Live, our big in-person event that is happening June 7th and 8th in downtown LA. Last year, Xbox head Phil Spencer dropped by immediately after the showcase and sat down for a candid interview on stage, and that was one of the many things we had going on. We're gonna have a bunch of live interviews, demos, reveals, and tapings of IGN shows, plus demo stations, merch, food and drinks, and a whole lot of giveaways. If you're interested, you can grab tickets at ign.com/live, and through April, it is early bird pricing, so a day pass is just $15 instead of $25, and a VIP pass goes for $30 instead of $40, so check it out. Moving on, one of the most anticipated games of the year is Hades 2, and this morning Supergiant Games announced that it'll be a timed console exclusive for Nintendo Switch 2 and the original Nintendo Switch. There's no exact release date quite yet, but the Switch release will coincide with the full launch of version 1.0 on PC via Steam and Epic Games Store. The original Hades also launched first on Switch and PC and eventually came to Xbox and PlayStation just shy of a year later, so there's a good chance that's going to be the case this time around as well, but we'll have to wait and see. Of course, if you can't wait until the full version launches, Hades 2 is currently in early access on PC. The first game was IGN's Game of the Year in 2020, and based on what we've seen from the sequel, it is on track to be even better. So if you can't wait, go check it out. Ironically, one of the most exciting things announced during the reveal of Nintendo's next-gen console is that it can play last-gen games, like last-gen games, thanks to the addition of GameCube Classics coming to Nintendo Switch Online. Even better, the Switch 2 is getting a brand new sort of GameCube controller that connects to the Switch 2 so you can play them properly. However, based on some fine print on the UK version of the device, that is seemingly all it's good for. Spotted by VGC, the fine print reads, "The controller is only compatible with Nintendo GameCube Nintendo Classics." Considering the number of inputs the GameCube controller has, it should theoretically be compatible with many other modern games, so it is possible this is just Nintendo covering its bases, so nobody gets mad if you can't use a GameCube controller to, like, play Civ 7 with a mouse like you can with the new Joy-Cons, but whatever. What is surprising is that it isn't listed as compatible with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, as that got its own dedicated GameCube controller when it first came out. Unclear if that controller is actually compatible with GameCube Classics, but I would assume so. Meanwhile, Nintendo has confirmed that the Wii U era USB adapter for the original GameCube controllers from the actual GameCube will actually be compatible with the Switch 2 if you plug it into the USB ports on the dock. Who here is more excited to replay old GameCube games instead of new Switch 2 games? Sound off in the comments, and seriously, no judgment. I get it, sometimes you just want comfort food. Speaking of revisiting old games, heads up that Devs React to Speedruns is returning this Saturday at 8:30 a.m. Pacific, with some of the team from Larian watching people burn through Baldur's Gate 3 in record time. Upcoming episodes will include Silent Hill 2 Remake, Animal Well, Astro Bot, and Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, so keep an eye out for that. That does it for this edition of The Fix. Before I go, if you are looking to save a few bucks on upcoming big purchases, or just know when hard-to-find products are back in stock, or you just want to find out about cool new stuff you can treat yourself to when you're feeling fancy, you should go follow IGN Deals on your social platform of choice. You can find them at IGN Deals, one word, on X, Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky, and over on TikTok, they are IGN_Deals. And And finally, just in case I didn't ask you to do enough stuff today, go check out the feature I put up about how, as disappointing as it is that the Duskbloods isn't Bloodborne 2 or even a Soulsborne, it's still worth keeping an eye on, and I'll tell you why. And with that, I'm out of here. Happy Wednesday, everybody. I'll see you next time.